The phone call came on a Tuesday afternoon while I was reviewing quarterly projections in my office. "Amanda, we need to talk about the engagement party," my sister Kristen said without preamble. "No hello, no how are you, just straight to business." "Okay," I said, setting down my pen. "What about it? You can't come." I blinked at my computer screen, processing the words. "I'm sorry, what?" "The engagement party this Saturday. You can't attend. Brandon and I discussed it and we think it's better if you sit this one out." "Why?" I kept my voice neutral, though my stomach had started to knot. Kristen sighed, that particular sigh she used when she thought she was being patient with me. "You're too embarrassing to attend. Brandon's parents are very successful people. His father is a senior VP at a tech company, his mother runs corporate operations. They have standards. And you, well, you're not exactly polished." I looked down at my jeans and Georgetown hoodie, my standard work-from-home outfit when I didn't have meetings. "Kristen, it's not just the clothes, Amanda. It's everything. You work from home doing freelance tech stuff. You drive a 15-year-old Honda. You live in that tiny apartment. Brandon's family is going to wonder why my sister is so unsuccessful." "I see. I knew you'd understand," she said, relief evident in her voice. "The whole family backed her up anyway. Mom and Dad agree it's better if you don't come. They don't want you to feel uncomfortable around Brandon's family." "How considerate." "Exactly. I'm glad you're being mature about this. We'll do a separate dinner, just us, after the wedding. Something casual where you'll fit in better." She hung up before I could respond. I sat in my home office, the converted second bedroom of my tiny apartment, which was actually a 1,800 square foot penthouse I owned in a building I'd purchased 3 years ago, and considered my options. My phone buzzed with a text from my mother. "Kristen told us. We think it's for the best. You understand, don't you, sweetheart?" Then my father. "Sorry, kiddo. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for family. Kristen's happiness is important." I turned back to my computer and opened my company directory. Foster Technology Solutions. 2,400 employees across 8 offices. Annual revenue, $340 million. And there, in the executive listings, Robert Chin, Senior VP of Product Development. Linda Chin, VP of Operations. Brandon Chen's parents, who worked for my company. I pulled up their personnel files. Both excellent employees, both up for significant promotions in the next review cycle. Robert was being considered for Executive VP. Linda was in line for Senior VP. I opened my email and sent a message to my Chief Operating Officer. "Please schedule a meeting with me and the Chens for Friday at 2 p.m. Topic: their quarterly presentation to me regarding the new product pipeline. I want to review it personally before the weekend." She responded immediately. "Scheduled. They'll be thrilled. They've been hoping to present directly to you." I smiled. They had no idea who I was. Saturday evening, I parked my old Honda across the street from the country club where Kristen's engagement party was being held. I wasn't going inside, I'd been uninvited after all. But I was curious to see the event my sister thought I'd ruin. At her engagement party, I watched through the floor-to-ceiling windows as my family mingled with Brandon's relatives. The ballroom was decorated beautifully, white and gold, very elegant. Kristen looked beautiful in her emerald cocktail dress, hanging on Brandon's arm, introducing him to relatives and family friends. My parents were working the room, clearly trying to impress Brandon's family with stories of their successful daughters. Well, daughter singular, I supposed. I watched my mother laugh at something Brandon's aunt said, her hand touching the woman's arm in that way she had of making people feel special. My father was deep in conversation with what looked like Brandon's father. Tall, distinguished, clearly comfortable in his expensive suit. They were probably bonding over business and success. Her fiancé's parents arrived late, rushing in at 7:30 looking slightly harried but professional. Robert Chin in his suit, tie loosened just slightly. Linda Chin in a beautiful navy dress, carrying her laptop bag, the one I'd seen her carry into countless meetings at headquarters. I was too far away to hear through the glass, but I could read lips well enough and I knew what they'd say. I'd read their emails about how excited they were to finally present to me personally. "So sorry we're late," Linda Chin was saying to Kristen and Brandon, her hands gesturing apologetically. "We had to finish the quarterly presentation for our CEO Amanda Foster. She wanted to review our product pipeline personally before her Monday meeting. It's a huge opportunity for us. We've been trying to get FaceTime with her for years. Robert added something and I could make out biggest career opportunity, and so excited. I watched from my series. My sister's face went through several expressions in rapid succession. Confusion first. Who was Amanda Foster? Then recognition as she processed the name. Then dawning realization, her eyes widening. Then pure horror as she understood exactly what it meant. She grabbed Brandon's arm, pulling him aside. Even from here I could see her talking frantically, gesturing. Brandon looked confused, then shocked. He pulled out his phone. My phone rang. Brandonchan. I answered. Hello. Is this Amanda Foster? His voice was tight. It is. The Amanda Foster who owns Foster Technology Solutions? Yes. My sister's. You're Kristen's sister Amanda? That's correct. A long silence. She uninvited you from our engagement party because she was embarrassed by you. She did. Because you work from home doing freelance tech stuff. That's what she said. Another silence. You're the CEO of a $340 million company. You founded it when you were 23. You've been featured in Forbes, Fortune, and TechCrunch. My parents work for you. All accurate. And you were going to let her believe you were some unsuccessful freelancer? I tried to tell her about my company many times, I said calmly. Every Sunday dinner for 8 years. He never listened. She was too busy talking about her marketing manager job and how successful she was at her firm. Oh my God, he breathed. She has no idea, does she? Your parents don't know either. No one in my family knows. They decided I was a failure and stopped asking questions. Eventually, I stopped trying to correct them. My parents are about to tell everyone they work for you. They're excited about Monday's meeting. They've been talking about finally meeting the CEO all week. I know. I read their emails. Should I warn Kristen? That's up to you, Brandon. But they're about to mention it anyway. Your mother is talking to my mother right now. Through the window I watched Lindichan chatting with my mother. I saw her mention Amanda Foster, and gesture enthusiastically. My mother's smile froze. She looked confused. My phone buzzed with a call. My mother. I declined it. Another call. My father. Declined. A text from Kristen, call me right now. I texted back, I was uninvited to your party. I'm respecting your wishes by not attending. Enjoy your evening. My phone rang again. This time I answered. Amanda, what the hell? Kristen's voice was shrill. Brandon's mother just said she works for Amanda Foster at Foster Technology Solutions. She said you're her suit. She's lying, right? Playing some weird joke. She's not lying. That's impossible. You work from home doing freelance web design or coding or whatever. I work from home because I own the company and I can work wherever I want, I interrupted. I do freelance tech consulting for Fortune 500 companies because I'm good at it and it's how I built my initial client base before founding Foster Technology Solutions. You can't. How would you even start a company? With $200,000 I'd saved from my freelance work and a business loan for another $300,000. I was 23. You were busy planning your wedding to your first husband at the time. You didn't notice. Your first husband hit like a slap. Kristen's first marriage had lasted 14 months. That company is worth hundreds of millions, Kristen said weakly. $340 million in annual revenue, I confirmed. The company itself is valued at around $2.1 billion. I own 73% of it. Do the math. Silence. Your apartment is a penthouse I own in a building I bought. The tiny apartment is 1,800 square feet with a view of the harbor. Your car is paid off and reliable. I don't need a luxury vehicle to prove anything. I'd rather invest in my business and my employees. Employees, she repeated numbly. Brandon's parents are your employees. Robert and Linda Chin. Both excellent workers. Both up for major promotions actually. Robert's being considered for executive VP, Linda for senior VP. Considered, Kristen latched onto the word. You're considering them? I said carefully. Before this evening. What does that mean? It means I'm reconsidering whether people who raised a son with such poor judgment should be in senior leadership positions. That's not fair. Brandon didn't do anything. Brandon agreed with you that I was too embarrassing to attend your engagement party, I said. He backed up your decision to exclude me because of my perceived lack of success. That shows poor character judgment. I don't want senior leaders who make decisions based on superficial appearances. You can't punish them because of me. I can do whatever I want, Kristen. I own the company. Brandon's voice came through the phone. She must have put me on speaker. Miss Foster, please. My parents have worked at your company for 6 years. They've done nothing wrong. This is my fault, not theirs. It's both your faults, I corrected. But I appreciate you trying to take responsibility. That's more than your fiancé is doing. What do you want? Kristen asked desperately. An apology? Fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know you were rich and successful. I'm sorry I didn't take your work seriously. You're sorry you got caught, I said. That's different from being actually sorry. My mother's voice came through. Amanda, sweetheart, there's been a terrible misunderstanding. There's been no misunderstanding, Mom. Kristen told me I was too embarrassing to attend her engagement party. You and Dad agreed. Those were conscious choices based on your perception of my life. The misunderstanding is that you thought you were right about your perception. We didn't know, my mother protested. Biz, you never asked. 8 years, Mom. 8 years of Sunday dinners where I tried to tell you about my company, my success, my life. You talked over me every single time. You were too busy being impressed with Kristen's entry-level marketing job to notice I'd built a tech empire. Their job offers were revoked by Monday. My text to my COO read as I sat in my car. Please prepare revised promotion recommendations excluding the Chens. Move Sarah Martinez and Tom Williams into those roles instead. They've earned it. Understood, she replied. Any explanation for the change? Personal conflict of interest. I'll explain Monday. I could see the chaos inside the country club. Kristen was crying. My mother looked devastated. My father was trying to talk to Robert Chin, who looked confused and worried. Brandon stood apart from everyone on his phone, probably trying to find out everything he could about me. My phone rang again. Kristen still on speaker. Please, Brandon said. I know we made a terrible mistake, but my parents don't deserve to lose their promotions. They've worked so hard. They have worked hard, I agreed. Which is why they're keeping their current positions. They're just not getting promoted. Sarah Martinez and Tom Williams have also worked hard, and they didn't raise children who judge people by their cars and apartments. That's not fair, Kristen sobbed. Fair. I laughed, a sharp sound. You want to talk about fair? Was it fair to exclude me from your engagement party? Was it fair to tell the whole family I was an embarrassment? Was it fair to decide my life was unsuccessful without ever asking me about it? Silence. Here's what's going to happen, I said. I'm going home. You're going to finish your engagement party and think very carefully about how you treat people based on appearances. Monday morning, I'm meeting with the Chens about their quarterly presentation. They'll still have their jobs, but the promotions are off the table. For how long? Robert Chen's voice, quiet and strained. Until I'm convinced they've raised a son who values character over appearances. Could be 6 months, could be 6 years. Could be never. That's up to Brandon. How is he supposed to prove that? Linda Chen asked. That's his problem to solve, I said. Not mine. I hung up and drove home to my penthouse apartment. Monday morning, the Chens gave an excellent presentation. Their product pipeline recommendations were solid, their data impeccable. I approved their plans and thanked them for their work. Miss Foster, Robert Chin said as they were leaving. About the promotions. Off the table for now, I confirmed. Your work performance is excellent. Your judgment in your personal life needs work. When your son demonstrates that he's learned to value people for who they are rather than what they appear to be, we'll revisit the promotion discussion. How long will that take? Linda asked. As long as it takes, I said. In the meantime, I'm giving you both 5% raises to reflect your excellent work performance. The promotion isn't about your work. It's about leadership character. I need senior leaders who raise children with integrity. They nodded, understanding. After they left, my CO came in. That was generous. The raises. They're good employees, I said. They just raised a son who needs to learn some things. That's not entirely their fault, but it does reflect on their judgment. Fair enough. Also, your sister has called 6 times this morning. I'm not available. What should I tell her? Nothing. She's not a client. That evening, Brandon showed up at my building. The doorman called up. Mr. Chin is here to see you, Miss Foster. Send him away. He says it's important. About his engagement. I sighed. Fine. Send him up. Brandon looked tired when I opened the door. Thank you for seeing me. You have 5 minutes. I broke up with Kristen, he said. I blinked. Why? Because you were right. She judged you based on appearances. She was embarrassed by you without knowing anything about your actual life. And I went along with it because... He paused. Because I was too focused on what my parents would think. I valued their opinion over doing the right thing. That's unusually self-aware. I've spent the last 2 days thinking about it, he said. My parents raised me to value hard work and integrity. Then I met a woman working from home in jeans and an old car, and I judged her as unsuccessful. That's the opposite of what they taught me. So you're here to apologize and ask if there's any way my parents can earn back their promotions. Not for me, I know I screwed up, but they really do deserve them. I considered him. 6 months. Your parents stay in their current roles with their raises. In 6 months, if their performance continues to be excellent, we'll discuss promotions again. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank your parents for being good employees despite raising a son who needs to work on his judgment. He winced but nodded. Fair. And Amanda? I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Apology noted. After he left, I called my parents. Hello. My mother sounded cautious. I'm having dinner at my place this Sunday, I said. You're invited. So is Kristen if she wants to come. I'll order from the Italian place you like. Amanda, we're so sorry. Sunday at 6, I interrupted. Come or don't. Your choice. They came. All 3 of them. Kristen cried and apologized. My parents asked questions. Real questions. About my company, my life, my success. I answered honestly. Why didn't you tell us? My father asked. I tried. You didn't listen. We're listening now, my mother said. Good, I said. Better late than never. It wasn't perfect. Relationships damaged by 8 years of dismissal don't heal in one dinner. But it was a start. And the next Sunday when I talked about my company's expansion plans, they actually listened. That was worth more than any promotion I could give.